first thing that I wanted to talk about was actually the gold volume, right? I'd actually trade gold because, guys, gold is actually one of the most simplest pairs that I've ever traded on that is respecting 100% of the strategy, right? I just feel like gold is one of the most simplest pairs to actually. There are certain principles that you need to actually focus on when you trade gold, guys, because it respects all the principles, but then there's certain ones that you have to know that, okay, those ones are the ones that I'm going to be using every day when I analyze gold, right? So the first thing is you need to know your support and your resistance levels, because gold actually respects support and resistance most of the time. So the first thing is know how your support and resistance work, know how your supply and demand work, right? Then you must also know your trends. Once you know your support and resistance, supply and demand, and you also know your trends, you're gonna master gold, guys. Okay? Because remember, your trend is the one that is going to give you the overall the direction of the market, where's the market going, and then your support and resistance, supply and demand, those are your entry points. So already know where the market is going, you just need an entry point. And I just feel like it applies to all the pairs, but then it respects this one the most, guys. Okay, so if you check it, this trade, I just feel like it's also a bit obvious, right? So we just had to complete the 90%. The market came back into its lowest point, created a double bottom on a support, broke, retested on the neckline. So this was supposed to be our second entry from our support. Then you took a beautiful buy. So here I used my trends and I also used support and resistance to actually execute this trade, guys. Okay, but we're just gonna be reanalyzing gold and just to see thingy. Okay, let me check. Okay, so let me just remove everything. So we're gonna be starting on our monthly chart as always, right? Identifying our current high and our current low. But then in this case, guys, I just want to be focusing more on that current market. So I'm not going to be identifying a lot of things. I'm just going to be identifying my nearest zone and then also that current market, okay, which is my current resistance in this case, right? And then we have just two beautiful zones at that certain point, right? So remember, the reason why you study in your highest time frame is because you want to know the overall market, which is just this one, right? So we are currently in an uptrend, as you can see. We've been moving in an uptrend, right? Here, I don't know which, like, it's an old session, guys. I don't know if you all remember this one, right? I said that if you check from this resistance, after we broke the resistance, the only thing that we did was get those beautiful buys, guys, right? And then we broke this current one, so we're only hoping for those beautiful buys until we create the resistance that is going to give us another reversal, right? So remember, this whole thing is just a trend. We're just having a beautiful uptrend here, right? So we're creating what? Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. So the only thing that we're waiting for is another higher low, which can actually be our third touch, right? From wherever the market is going to reverse, we're going to have a third touch, and then we're going to create another high, then a breakout, then a retest, and maybe it can crash. But then I don't think it's going to be crashing anytime soon, guys. Okay, this can actually take a lot of years. Okay, but then on gold, I just remember me saying that we're going to be heading into new highs. Okay, but yeah, we're not here for that, guys. Okay, but then if you check this current market is just looking clean. I just feel like it's just looking clean. We can actually be looking for more buys. I'm gonna explain why am I saying that, right? Then from there we're gonna go into our 1 week chart. So in your 1 week, remember, you're gonna be identifying another trend, and you'll also be identifying more zones. Remember, your trend always starts from your support area, which is this point. So we're having a beautiful support at this point. And then our resistance is just that last highest point. We're not going to be identifying it in this time frame, guys. But then we have a resistance there. From our support, we've been creating highs and lows. It means we're having a beautiful uptrend at that point, right? And then this is just our major key. We're just having a beautiful, beautiful major key at that point. And then also the top part like that. Okay. Remember that, like, after identifying a trend, you should remember what the 90% is saying. The 90% is saying that you always focus on the bottom trend line. So whatever that happens on the top trend line, we're not going to be looking at. It's not in our concept, guys, right? I'm not saying it's not working, but then it's not in our concept, right? So the only thing that we're mainly focusing on is the bottom trend line. As long as we do not have any trade touches on the bottom trend line, we're not going to be hoping for any 90% being complete, which is one of the reasons why we actually identify our trend, to actually see if the market is respecting our 90% or not, right? Another thing is to actually know how the market is moving, how is the overall direction of the market on that certain current market. Okay, so we want to know if the market is in an uptrend or is the market in a downtrend. Right, it's also important for you to actually know that. Okay, and then oh, why did I change? Okay, sorry guys. Okay, beautiful. Okay. And another thing is, if we know that the market is actually in an uptrend, we already know that we're creating lows and highs. So from everything that we have on the current market, we do know that if we create a low, we're going to reverse at that point, and then we're going to be creating another high, right? Like it's an uptrend, right? The market is just going up, like it's just going up. It just explains itself, guys. Right. So if you're gonna be reversing, maybe you're gonna be reversing to this point, then another reversal might be the market is always gonna manipulate a certain zone there and then continue with their buys, right? So that's just how an uptrend is. And if it's at the downtrend, the same thing applies. It's just gonna be going to the bottom, right? Until we see a certain dead touch there. Okay. And as the market is going to be creating a dead touch, like we're also going to be seeing like how is the market going to be doing that. How so, you may ask, right? So if you check here, guys, right? So if we had an uptrend at this point, okay, so if we had a beautiful uptrend at this point, we do know that after that touch, grab momentum, breakout, retest, and then that is when we can actually say we can get at that touch at this point, mainly because of the trend on the current market. Hence, I always say the trend is the one that is going to tell you where the market is going, like how is the overall market going to be going. Okay, so it's also very important for you to know the concept of your trends, right? And I just feel like they're also not that hard, guys. Just you just have to know a couple of things, and then you're gonna be fine, guys. Okay, and then from then we're gonna go into our 1-day charts. Right, I'm mainly going to be focusing on the current market in this one, since the market is in new highs. Right, so I'm just gonna be focusing on what's happening on that current market. So let me just remove everything like this. Okay, and since it's in the high, like since it's in new high, so I'm going to be scaling down into the smallest time frames just for me to get those key points, right, in order for me to actually execute trades, right? But I'm just going to be showing you all how to actually do that. Okay, so this is our overall current market. This is our 1-day chart, so we actually need another trend and we also need more zones. So I'm just going to start with my zones, right? Just going to be identifying a couple of zones there that can actually affect the current market. We also have a beautiful zone at that point there, right? So after this, you're going to be identifying your trend. So I just feel like my trend is actually somewhere here. We're just having a beautiful uptrend at this point. So we're going to be scaling down into smaller time frames in order for us to actually identify it in the most legit way, right? But then the rest of the things, the rest of the place, we don't really have a trend, right? We had a beautiful trend here. It was our previous trend, right? That the market broke out, retested, and then it manipulated that zone a bit, but then continued with the buys up to the 90%. Okay, so I just feel like we're gonna be looking for more buys, but in order for us to actually get buys, we need to get another downtrend like that, guys, right? Remember, the market is moving with an impulse. After the impulse, we're expecting a correction, impulse, and then correction, impulse, and then at some point it's gonna hit a huge correction, then an impulse, huge correction. That's just how the market is moving. The market is just moving up and down, right? So it's moving with its support and its resistance. Okay. Hence, if the market is in new highs, I always say that you have to wait for the market to actually create a certain resistance in order for you to actually take the drops. Okay, and then those drops, you're going to take them from your resistance to your support area. Simple as that, guys. Okay, and then for each chart, okay, so this is just our beautiful 4-hour chart. Okay, so if you check how it's been moving, guys, gold is just it has just been moving in a beautiful uptrend here. So it's been just having a beautiful uptrend. So the market is just going to the top, guys. Hence I'm saying we're actually going to be looking for more buys. Why is that? We do not have any dead touch there. So if there's no trend on that current market, that is going to show us that we are going to be having any dead touch there. We're not going to be taking any sales, guys. Okay, but then currently we're just in a beautiful uptrend there. Okay, as you can see, guys, right? So okay, let me just adjust this zone. I just want to put it there, right? Remember, your trend always starts from your support. Your support is always your last lowest point. So in this case, our last lowest point is just this point here. Okay, so this is just our last lowest point area. Okay, that's just our beautiful support. And why are we saying it's a support? We once had some beautiful reversals at that certain point, right? So the market once hit there, gave us buys, came in and manipulated a bit, but then still gave us some beautiful buys to the highest point. So we're having a beautiful, beautiful support at that level. And then our resistance is just our last highest point, which is just this one. Okay, so in this case, we do have a beautiful resistance there with connection, which connection for a third touch there, right? And we're having a beautiful major key from the second touch there. Hence, I'm saying, guys, gold is actually very simple to trade. You just have to wait for proper confirmations and just know the concept of trades. That's it. Okay. Okay, let's just scale down into small time frames, which is just our hourly chart. Okay. Okay, beautiful. So I'm just gonna be removing this just to keep my chart clean, guys, right? So I just want to understand the price movement on the current market, right? So having another beautiful support here as our last lowest point, just like that. We're just having a beautiful last low there, right? And then we're having a beautiful resistance at that point. From this support, we've been creating highs and lows, which means we have a beautiful trend at that certain point there, okay? Then also the top part. So the market has just been moving in a beautiful, beautiful uptrend, guys, right? So we're just going to be waiting for the market to actually respect this uptrend in order for us to be taking sales, right? But also from this certain resistance, if you check, the market is just creating lows and highs. Hence, I was saying we can actually get some beautiful buys from that point, okay? So in the previous time frame, I actually forgot to identify my supplies and my demands, guys. Okay, just a slight mistake. Sorry about that. Okay, but we're just having a beautiful zone there. Remember, your supply and your demand, those are just your zones that you identify in smaller time frames, right? So we're just gonna be identifying them the same way we identify our normal zones, right? And the current market, if you check where the market is, we are currently on this reversal point. Okay, let me just fix it. Okay, so we're currently on this reversal point, right? Which means the market can actually give us some beautiful sells. Okay, we can actually get some beautiful sells. Remember, we are from our resistance, which is this last highest point here. This is our resistance, guys. And we do know that from our resistance, we can actually drop to our support, which is just that lowest point, right? And we do know that at that certain support, we are going to be completing the 90%. So whatever that we're doing, it's actually valid. Okay. Okay, I just don't like how the trend looks. So I'm gonna just draw it like this, guys. Okay. Okay. Okay, beautiful. So we just have to go and complete this 90%, but then we're still going to be waiting for like proper confirmations. Still got to get proper confirmations in order for us to actually say we are going to be taking the drops, guys. Okay, there's not a long term position yet because we still have to go hit at that touch. Okay, which is what I was just talking about, guys, right? If we have a trend day, we're going to be aiming for a dead touch, which is what we are aiming for in this trade, guys, that we are going to be taking on gold, right? So you're going to be aiming for this dead touch, wait for the market to grab momentum, break out the retest. Then after the retest, that is when you can consider those sells to this level. Okay, but then if the market is not going to be respecting this and respecting a different thing, we are going to be taking more buys to the highest point, right? So it's also possible for the market to actually keep pushing to its highest point. Okay, but on that current zone day, we're just having a beautiful zone there. We just gotta get a double top in order for us to actually say the market is going to be dropping. Okay, but as I've said, I'm going to be scaling down into my smaller time frames. I just want to get those key levels or those key points in order for me to actually be confident with the trade, right? But if you check at this certain zone, guys, we're just having a beautiful double bottom. Hence, I'm saying we are just stuck in an odd position in this one, guys. The market is going to present a second top as we're going to be taking sales regardless of this the double bottom that we have here, because that is not what we are looking for. That we're looking for is sales, so we're mainly going to be focusing on those sales. Okay, but if we are going to be taking any buys, it's very understandable. We just have a beautiful downtrend on that certain current market day, right? And we just hit our third touch, so it will be it will also be a good thing. But then I just feel like on gold, I've been waiting for sales, guys. Even the buys in the like even the buys in the thing that are actually happening, I didn't take any of the buys mainly because gold is giving us some promising long-term sales, guys. Okay, so I'm mainly going to be focusing on the sales, not the buys, guys. Okay, so I'm mainly going to be focusing on these sales. I'll just see if the market is actually going to be respecting what we are saying it is to respect. Okay, so our entry point will be at the second top. Once we have our second top, we're going to be taking more beautiful drops to the lowest point. This is always above a certain zone. So we want to enter at this zone, right? So as we want to enter at this zone, we know that if the market breaks the zone, it means it's not our entry point anymore, right? So we're going to have to go and enter at a different level, right? So our stop loss is going to be above the zone. And we know that if the market breaks this certain zone, we're no longer going to be taking the sales. We're just going to be waiting for a different position, okay? Okay, but it's dropping. It's currently dropping nicely. But this was actually not going to be our entry point. Let's just check the smallest time frame. Maybe we do have a double top. Okay, if you check there, beautiful, guys. We just have a beautiful double top, and currently it's the Asian session. It's around 9:10, so it's probably the Asian session, right? So we do have a double top at that point, so we might be going for a third touch, right? But I just feel like this one is actually not for me, guys. I don't think I was gonna trade this. Right? It's not even around my trading times, and it's actually a Friday, so around this time I'm actually off the market, guys. Okay, but then if you check, first top had our first reversal, second reversal hit that zone there, so we're just having a beautiful drop. Okay, so if you actually saw this, we're gonna be milking these beautiful sales to the low. Okay, but yeah, guys, unfortunately, we didn't catch this one. Okay, and it actually broke that certain neckline where I was actually seeing some buys. So the buys are currently not promising. Okay, so we're just gonna be off it. Yo guys, hope you all are doing good. So guys, as you can see, guys, gold actually took our direction, which is what we're actually waiting for, guys. So I'm just gonna give you a quick breakdown on what actually happened, right? But then as you can see, gold actually took our direction. We're actually looking for those beautiful sales to the lowest point, guys. Okay, so our previous entry was actually on a different zone, okay, which was here. I think it was somewhere here. Okay, and like as I even said that it's actually a Friday, so I'm not gonna be trading during that time. So I just waited until the market actually created what I wanted, and then those beautiful sales were actually taken, right? So my previous entry was somewhere here, right? And at this certain level, as you can see, the market actually hit there and then gave us a reversal. But then the nicest thing is, as the market was reversing, the market was creating a rising wedge, which is also a confirmation. Remember, I said that we're going to be waiting for proper confirmations. So if you check it, the market actually created a rising wedge, broke out, retested on that certain rising wedge, right? But I was like, no, then a nice way to actually enter this position is if the market is going to break out. And at this point, I saw that okay, the market is giving me a promising breakout, right? And if you scale down into your smallest time frame, the market actually created a resistance at this certain point, right? Which is also a beautiful entry point, right? And if you check where I actually place my entry point is at this certain zone. And I knew that if the market breaks that certain zone, we're going to be looking for those beautiful sells to the lowest point. As you can see, guys, this is just a beautiful one. I hope everybody learns something from this video, guys. I hope you're actually gonna be milking gold after this video, guys, right? And don't forget to hit that thumbs up, guys. But don't forget to leave a comment if you have any. Even if it's a hate comment, it's fine, guys. I don't care about hate comments. Then please leave a comment if you have any. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to actually get notified once I drop videos like this again, guys, right? And if you check where the market actually reversed, it's a beautiful zone. It's got some beautiful impulsive movements to the bottom, so we're having those impulsive movements to the bottom again, guys. Okay, so this is just a beautiful entry. It's still on our previous zone, though. That reversal is still on our previous zone where we were seeing those beautiful sells, right? That previous zone still worked for us. It's just that the market broke it, but then it still came back, created a first top, second top on our resistance, broke out. So this was just a retest on the neckline, and then I just waited for the market to break. There's a reversal point. After it breaks the reversal point, there is when we got those beautiful sells to the lowest point, guys. Okay, so guys, I just hope you enjoyed this video and a lot from it. And then yeah, guys, see you all in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you must comment down below if you want me to be analyzing any other pair and showing you all how to actually how I actually analyze some certain pairs and which concepts am I respecting in those pairs, and how to actually do a full market breakdown, guys. Okay, either or, guys.